Hey there. How many of your best years are you willing to trade for a little more certainty? That's not the question most people ask before they retire. They ask, do I have enough money? That's a great question, but after retiring at 55, I've learned there's a second question that matters just as much, and no retirement calculator can answer it for you. A retirement calculator can determine your probability of success, it can project your taxes, your inflation, and Monte Carlo simulations can run 1,000 market scenarios. But what they can't tell you is what one more year at work costs your body, your energy, your marriage, your hobbies, and your sanity. That's why I'm not saving my best years for later. Let me be clear about what I'm not saying. I'm not saying everyone should retire as soon as possible. I'm not saying quit because work annoyed you this week. And I'm definitely not saying the math doesn't matter. Of course it matters a lot. But money is only one side of this decision. Time and health are the other two. And those two are much harder to get back once they're spent. Here's the classic problem. When you're young, you have time and health, but not much money. In your peak earning years, you finally have money, but work owns your time. By the time you have both money and time, health becomes the wild card. It seems so many talk endlessly about the risk of retiring too early and running out of money. And that's real and it should get attention. But you don't hear about the risk of retiring too late. Having the money but missing the energy. Having the plan but missing the window. Finally getting the time but no longer wanting the same life you spent years dreaming about because you no longer have the energy, because you waited too long and are older now. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 lessons that have shaped how I spend time and money in retirement. Lesson 1 is to identify your high energy dreams. Not all retirement goals are equal. Reading more, quiet mornings, watching movies, those age fine. You can do them at 80. But the big physical stuff, hiking trips, long travel days, active vacations, the sport you still want to play, that doesn't wait patiently in the someday bucket. If something requires energy, it probably belongs earlier. Plan your most energy-sensitive experiences while you still have the most energy. Most retirement planning does the exact opposite. It cares most about preserve, preserve, preserve. And yes, you should preserve enough, just don't preserve so much that you miss out on your healthiest years. Lesson 2, not every dollar is the same. Some dollars are protection dollars. They cover the health insurance, the next downturn. They help you sleep at night. Other dollars are life dollars. They buy the trip, the hobby, the memory, the actual life you said you wanted in retirement. If every dollar gets treated like it's a protection dollar, none of them ever become a life dollar. That's how people with plenty of money still feel broke in retirement. Not financially, but emotionally, because they can't let the money do its job. Decades of saving trains you to keep climbing, to keep building that retirement mountain of money. Retirement asks you to go back down that mountain and to use that mountain of money you've built, and your brain says, absolutely not. I still think about future me. He seems like a decent guy, and I hope he has good knees and a good back. But current me matters too. Protecting the 80-year-old version of yourself so aggressively that you sacrifice the version standing right here in front of you in the present isn't balanced at all. Lesson 3, aim for good enough, not perfect. Not sloppy, not based on your gut or a rough estimate. A real plan, a plan based in reality, but not a perfect one, because perfection is where retirement dreams keep on getting postponed. And because no plan is going to be perfect. For us, good enough meant real margin, a spending plan, cash on hand so we're never forced to sell stocks at the worst time, a health insurance strategy before Medicare, a tax plan, and flexibility. And flexibility is underrated. Safety doesn't only come from having more money, it also comes from being able to adjust. We're not robots that spend the exact same amount every year no matter what's happening. We can spend less in a bad market, we can delay a purchase. A retirement plan isn't a straight line from the day you retire to the day you die. It meanders, it bends around whatever gets thrown in its way. A bad market, healthcare costs that run higher than expected, an expensive home repair you didn't see coming, and also whatever else life just throws at it. It curves around those obstacles and it straightens back out when things are going well. If you want a retirement plan that's a straight line the whole way through, no bends, no surprises, completely bulletproof, you're going to be waiting to retire for a really long time. And that's the trap I almost fell into. Once our plan was good enough, I had to stop asking, "Am I ready?" over and over. Because at some point, that question stops being about readiness and starts being a way to avoid deciding. A lot of good savers get stuck exactly there. Not because they're reckless, but because they're so responsible they can't stop preparing. One more year, one more bonus. Later isn't a date on the calendar. Later is a bet. It doesn't care if the market had a good year or not. It just keeps taking days of your healthiest and best years quietly and politely. It's a very patient thief. Lesson 4 is count the true cost of work. This one's tricky because not everyone hates their job. Some people like their jobs and get meaning from it, and if that's you, great. But for a lot of people in their 50s and 60s, work starts taking more than money can measure. Your patience, your Sunday nights when you get those blues dreading Monday morning, and the start of another stressful work week. Your best energy, the version of you, your spouse, your kids, and your health actually need. That was part of my calculation too. Not just what work paid me, but what it costs me. The better question isn't, should I keep earning money? It's, what am I trading for that money? Sometimes the trade is worth it, sometimes it isn't. Only you can answer that, but do ask the question. Lesson 5 is build a retirement you actually want to enter. This might be the most overlooked one. Some people keep working not because the money isn't there, but because they're not emotionally clear on what they're retiring to, only what they're retiring from. That makes work feel safer even when they're tired of it, because you just don't know what you do with yourself once it's gone. Here's the thing. Retirement doesn't hand you meaning, it hands you time. You have to decide what to do with it, what will give you meaning. For me, that's meant real routines, gardening, exercise, piano, this YouTube channel, and my early retirement roadmap podcast too. Family time on an ordinary Tuesday, not just weekends. Now, most of my days aren't epic, and I wouldn't expect them to be. My home doesn't care that I'm financially independent. I still have to mow the lawn, clean the house, pay utility bills, and all the other ordinary things of life that I had to do before I retired, except I don't need to save it all for the weekend. I don't need retirement to be a motivational poster. I just need it to feel like I own my life again. And it does. If you're not retired yet, here's where I'd start. What are you saving for that has an expiration date? Things like your body wearing down, your relationships needing time now, not later, your own chance to actually live and enjoy retirement while you're healthy. Those do have an expiration date, so you don't want to save and prepare for too long. And how does this all get harder if you wait 5 years? Now, this all doesn't mean quit tomorrow. It means stop pretending the only risk is financial. There's the risk of waking up with plenty of money and not enough usable time left to spend it. So run the numbers, build the plan, stress test the portfolio, understand your health insurance and your risks, do all the responsible stuff. Of course, it all matters. But once the plan is strong enough, don't let fear keep moving the finish line. Your best years aren't just a reward waiting at the end. They might be the years you're standing in right now. The question isn't just, can I afford to retire? It's, can I afford to keep postponing the life I built all of this for? For me, retiring at 55 was my answer. Now, my retirement is not perfect, it's not risk-free, and not always easy. But I'm glad I didn't save these years for later. If this hit home, tell me in the comments, what are you trying not to save for later? Travel, family, health, just getting your life back? And a quick note, I'd like to invite you to consider joining my Patreon. You can join for free, and I have a lot of free tools for you to use. Things like my ACA Magi Estimator, Retirement Readiness Scorecard, Cash Runway Worksheet, 10 Ways to Lower Your ACA Premiums ebook, and more. And if you'd like to go a step further, consider joining as a Roadmap member. It's just $5 a month and gets you early access to new podcast episodes, all of my podcast episodes ad-free, and access to the private Roadmap member community discussion space where paid members can ask questions, share experiences, compare notes, and communicate with others, including me, who are thinking seriously about retirement or living it. You can join my Patreon for free or become a Roadmap member by using the link in the description or using the QR code appearing on your screen. And go to mikeupland.com for all of my media. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care and make the most of today.